seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, the CEO and host of WWT, and I am not alone. She's the host of In Cat We Trust. She's also one of the writers as well for Women's Wrestling Talk. Please welcome Katrina Blake.
Hey, everybody. What's up?
Hey, and today, if you notice, because sometimes we do a lot of pre-tape, but we're going to be doing more live stuff, so come through with all your questions. We have an amazing guest today. You've seen her on AEW, you've seen her on WWE, and I'm predicting she will be the next household name. Please welcome Avery Breaux.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Cannot complain. So let's just jump into it. So Katrina and I were talking right before you came on, kind of started like you're an athlete. So let's, start there. It's not like, the diva era, no shade to the diva era. We had to start somewhere, but you've done a lot of different sports.
Yes.
However, you've been in wrestling for a short period of time. So tell us about that transition into wrestling.
Honestly, I played sports my entire life. Super used to going straight from school to just training all day, no matter what season it was. I was in some type of sport or I was dancing. So when I went to college, and I still played intramurals, but it wasn't nearly as intense of training or as much training as I was used to my entire life. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself, what to do with all the spare time. And so I was trying to pretty much through college figure out how do we get back to this? I'm just so used to go, train. And so as soon as I started training for wrestling, I was like, oh yes, we're back. This is it. Because you're constantly either training in the ring or training in the gym. It's one or the other. And so to me, it's literally the best of both worlds.
Would you say the transition? I know there's football training's a little different than when you're doing in-ring training. Would you say there's any similarities or differences between the two?
I think there's definitely both. Similarities as far as some of the cardio type drills that we do in the ring. Definitely stuff that I had done in football and other sports helped me a lot with that. Shuffling, so many burpees, stuff like that. Super, super similar. And my body was already used to that sort of movement, which was good. Definitely a lot of differences as well. I always tell people, you do not you can't understand in-ring or even attempt to get the in-ring cardio anywhere else. It's just so, so different.
So let's get into a few of your bigger moments. I'm going to share my screen real quick. AEW. You had some moves on here, which was insane. So I'm going to highlight it real quick. it in real life, I don't think she would have made it through. But it's wrestling. But you were like hitting it hard. Like, tell us how you got how this happened and what was your experience overall. Like that move right there. Ooh, girl. Like, tell us about that experience.
So when I was training, they were like, "Is there any moves you guys want to learn or like anything like that?" And I was like, "Has to be a cannonball," because I literally did like tumbling my entire life. Like I said, I did sports. So I'm used to like physicality and I'm used to like flipping and stuff. So I was like, it has to be, something to do with that. So the first time I saw a cannonball, I was like, oh yeah, like I definitely gotta hit that move. And I did it like once and they were like, oh, well, it wasn't bad. And then I just like kept trying at it. And I was like, I'm just going to throw it. Let's do it. Let's see.
And like, I know you've done a few indie shows as well, but then you have AEW Dark, which is a bit of a more higher produced type show. So how was that experience, I guess, going from like indie wrestling and then going to a show and then having a match with Chris Statlander, who's amazing as well, going into that matchup and kind of being used to that experience in AEW?
She is so amazing, first off, literally so amazing. I would say the transition, it was interesting, definitely very different. Luckily, I went to Flatbacks for training, which is coached by Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. And their whole thing about training from the start is they train you for TV wrestling and to be a wrestler on TV. So literally every day, no matter what it is, they are trying to prepare you as much as possible for when you eventually can hopefully have a match on TV. So as far as like the little things that I felt like I needed to know, I felt super prepared. I felt like super confident and really, really appreciative that those guys had like prepared me in that manner. Obviously still super nervous, lots of nerves. It was a super big deal. She is literally, like you guys said, amazing. And it's like such a big stage just to be able to be on like an AEW Dark or something like that. So it was overall such a cool experience, such a good learning experience. I literally had no complaints, just so happy to be there. And I was really appreciative for it.
Yeah, let's talk about like your training. It's kind of like any other sports where you have to you continue repeating until it becomes second nature. Mm-hmm. So at Flatbacks, you did the training where like you're doing the wrestling training, but you're also doing the training where you're aware of the cameras and stuff like that. So when the opportunity presented itself, you're at AEW Dark, and it happened. Was it just kind of like, okay, I've done like the training came in secondhand for you?
It was a little of both. I definitely had it in the back of my head. And there were times when I was in there that I was like, all right, like be mindful, like this is here. Make sure when you're doing a certain something, you turn a certain way. Like it was definitely a little of both. I 100% could have done like far more and done better as far as the TV aspect goes. But I was pretty happy with like my first time, but I definitely felt prepared, but also like I was like like everywhere.
And you also went against Sloane Jacobs, who I also absolutely love. I followed her also on the indie scenes, and I thought that was a really, really good matchup between the two of you. So how was that experience, I guess, stepping into WWE and then doing like as far as the newer talent being showcased there? How was that experience for you?
That one just as good. There definitely have like obviously their differences. They're two different companies. But overall, I was obviously at both places for the same end goal, I guess you could say. And so working with Sloane, just such good learning experiences and so cool that I'm like less than a year in and get to have these experiences and these matches that are just progressing and making me a better wrestler in general. Like it was just, I was like in awe the entire day.
Yeah, the fact, shout out to Ella. Ella's in the chat. So like if you guys also want to see, we're obviously having a great interview now, but definitely check out Ella. She has a great interview with Avery. So you guys should definitely check that out. With that being said, you have a lot of wrestlers who've been in the game for a long period of time. And like you said, you haven't been in the game for very long, great training, all that stuff, but you've essentially worked in two major companies. So how did those opportunities present itself?
So I know for me with AEW, our coach Spears, he definitely, once he feels that you are ready and are like good to take on an opportunity like that, he'll put your name in for extra work with Dark and stuff like that. And so he did that, and then there's like an extras coordinator, reaches out, all that good stuff. And then XT, obviously with Breeze, because he was there forever. He's still super cool with everyone there. So I've been booked a few times at NXT prior to getting the level up match. And it was just, you go in and you do whatever they need you to do, and you're there all day. And it's mostly just like making rapport with people and just saying like whatever opportunities you guys have, like anything like that, good stuff. And basically you wait it out, and you just keep working hard, keep grinding, and eventually the opportunities come, and it's really cool.
Nice. So I heard you are a Shawn Michaels fan, as am I. so when did you become like a Shawn Michaels fan, and what is one of your favorite Shawn Michaels matches?
Definitely, I always say the Ric Flair retirement match. I don't know, it just tugs at my heart. I think the earliest memory I have is playing with like the wrestling figures at my grandma's house. My older cousin had them because he was like super into wrestling, and I just remember being like so enamored by Shawn Michaels. And then every time I watched him, I just like, yeah, you know how he is. He's just so big and over the top. And every single time I was just like, I would just be like, yeah, that's my guy right there.
Super relatable, because that's how my experience was with my grandma too. Like, oh, he's just, look at him, and here we are.
Here we are. So let's talk about we talked. Well, Katrina and I also mentioned the back end as far as your ring gear. Ring gear, and correct me if I'm wrong, is not cheap. And being different than everybody else is also very important as far as standing out. So we definitely see the Mardi Gras concept kind of all throughout your social media and the ring gear. But how do you decide on this is what you're gonna use, the set, all that good stuff?
I actually went through like a few different like ideas in my head, because I am also like obsessed with sharks. So I went through like a whole shark thing, and I was like, okay. And I like couldn't like nail something down. And at the end of the day, to start out at least, I wanted it to be the most me that it could be. And also, I mean, everyone recognizes Mardi Gras, even like around the world. Everyone knows it as like a national holiday, even though Louisiana only really celebrates it. So I was like, perfect. Like my first few sets of gear, it just makes sense. It'll be easy because it's me. I know it. Like I've grown up, I've done it. So bad at like creativeness though. So I definitely worked with a designer, and I was like, please, I was like, these are my ideas, but I'm not sketching nothing. And so he like sketched it up for me, and we went back and forth, and it was really cool. And it was like really fun to work with him. And it was like my first kind of opportunity to dive into what I wanted to portray. And so I got it made, and then that was that. And it was like so fulfilling when I was on NXT and the crowd just literally started chanting, "Let's go Mardi Gras." I was like, they get it. I was literally in the ring, and I was like,
yes. Success.
So I know you're like pretty new in like the wrestling world as far as like your wrestling record and matches and everything, but is there any like dream opponents for you that you just would love to step into the ring with?
Oh, 100%. I always say Charlotte Flair because I just think she's one of the best and so athletic. Literally, I feel like she would run circles around me 100%, and I would just let it happen. I would just stand there and just watch in awe as well. So she's definitely one. I always say that if I could wrestle some of my friends from training one day on like a huge stage, like that would be like end goal for me, because I mean, then you've both made it, that means, and you started together, and it'd just be like a cool full circle moment.
You have our senior writer in the chat. She's also a very huge Charlotte Flair fan. So you've gained, somebody following you. We'll just correct that. Shout out to Nikki for that. So here we are, NXT AEW down. After that was all said and done, has there been any other talks? Is there anything that you can, let us know that's happening? We're kind of out of the pandemic. I really don't know what's happening with that, but we're out and about. So what's the deal?
Yeah, so that week I actually filmed as well again with AEW. I had 2 different things on Dark, so they should be airing soon within the next few weeks. And then here coming up, I have a few bookings again with WWE and stuff like that. So I think next week. Yeah, I think next week, and then a few weeks after that. And then obviously I still have my indie bookings and stuff like that. So right now things are just like rolling, and I'm just taking them as they're coming, and it's a good time.
So sorry, Katrina, do you let like WWE know, like, hey, I have a book at AEW, or like, obviously you're a free agent, but how does that work? Because, from outside looking in, particular WWE, they're very, finicky on, crossing the line. So how does that work?
So far I've not had any like dates where they both have tried to book me, because normally obviously NXT's on a Tuesday, and then when we film Dark, it's always usually on like a Saturday or something. So far, because neither have crossed over, I haven't had to reach out to one or the other and be like, sorry, like can't make it, or sorry, I'm already here, or something like that, which has been very nice, because I would hate to turn down any opportunity. I'm not sure if anybody else, because I know there's a lot of people that have done both as well, have come across that. So far we're good, and neither like ask about the other or anything. I don't know how much they pay attention to like us when they're booking or anything like that. So I would assume they're fine with it, both parties.
We'll knock on wood. Let's put the good vibes in the universe. Because you managed to do it, and you're doing it still. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Yes, booked and busy as like to be.
I like it.
So a quick little side away from wrestling. It's summer. It's getting like it's hot already for some people. It's like warm up. So what is like a summer song or jam that is like it's your go-to summer song that the seasons change and it's kind of time to kind of just have more fun. It's warmer outside and all that stuff.
A song. That's a good question. I literally, as I was just getting ready, Heat Waves came on, and that I was just like, I could be at the beach right now. I was like, so for now, that's the one that's just like on my mind since I was just listening to it. So let's go with that one.
Okay.
All right. I like that. Yeah, it's, we moved to these hotter places because I'm in LA, and it's like desert, and it's just kind of like, why? It's like 100 and something degrees, and it's like, why am I here again? And then speak to Katrina, it's December and it's snowing, and I'm like, yeah, now I remember.
All good on that.
So I want to bring up one of these pictures you have. Like, it's very well, I'm assuming that you work out a lot, but this picture in particular, like, I feel like you're very proud of because I see it everywhere. But what does it take to get in that type of shape? And then the caption says it all. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. Like,
Gotta pay
yes,
homage. Gotta pay
yeah,
homage.
on all levels. So what does it take to get into that type of shape?
Honestly, I tell people all the time, it takes a lot. I know, like at my actual work, I always have people that are like, oh, like, I want your stomach or I want this. And I'm like, you really don't. And they're like, why? And I'm like, you do not want to go through like what I go through, the diet I eat. You do not want any of it. You don't deserve it. Like, I'm like, trust me, if I wasn't like doing what I was doing, we wouldn't be here because it takes a lot. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah, what's the diet? What's the diet like? Because I remember when I was doing like I used to do like fitness modeling, and they literally had me on tuna and green beans, and it was not pleasant. But I looked great, but it was not pleasant at all. So what's your diet looking like?
So luckily, I am like such a creature of habit, and I can eat the same thing literally every day, 4 days. If I like it, I'm not getting tired of it. So normally breakfast, I have like protein oatmeal to start the day. And I like add PB powder to throw in some more protein. Lunch is always just ground turkey and brown rice. And I usually drink like the superfoods thing from Ghost, the greens, because I'm not a big vegetable fan. So I'm like, get them in then. And then dinner, it just depends on how many calories I want in the day or not, is usually always either like steak and more rice or chicken and rice. And then I always have like a protein shake after I work out. And other than that, that's pretty much it.
Things haven't changed. It's still the standard.
Yeah.
It's like, the blueprint. You're always hoping that's going to be something different. Like, can we be successful on pizza? Like, how can we figure out a way to eat a couple slices of pizza and still achieve the goal?
Somehow make it to where I can fit one a day in.
That part, like it's definitely a balancing act. So kudos to you. I'm still 2 years later trying to get back to that, but I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. So
all good.
You're a dog mom. So what kind of dog do you have? What's the dog's name? All that good stuff. I love to see cute dogs on Instagram.
They are the cutest. They're somewhere in there running around right now. I have 2 now. So one, they're both like, I both rescued them in some kind of mix of something. One, his name is Crew. Is this
him?
There he is. Yeah. I'm thinking like German Shepherd Husky mix with got to be something else because he has a few spots on him. That's my guy right there. I love him. And then the other one I just rescued like right after Mardi Gras, so like beginning or middle of March. His name is Louis, and he's like a pit bull boxer mix. Little skinny guy. He's a good guy as well.
Oh, it's cute.
Oh my goodness. So, you're doing indie matches, you're booked and busy, as Katrina said. What is like the goal? I mean, it seems like, you knew what you wanted. It's happening. So what is the end goal, or what are you hoping to see in the next year to 2 years?
End goal is definitely to just be signed to some company, definitely continuing to get better. And I think the opportunity to work for any company right now, I mean, wrestling is kind of exploding, as we've all seen as of late. So I don't have like a specific company in mind. I only would like the opportunity to just be able, and it's not even like for myself, but to work with all these other great wrestlers and just like great people and the knowledge you gain. I think that would just be like so cool and awesome to be a part of. So I think right now I would say that's my main end goal. But we'll see what comes.
And anything overseas?
Oh, I'd love to. I've been to the UK once, and I like had so much fun. I had a blast there, so I'd go back in a heartbeat. Obviously, everyone wants to wrestle in Japan. Canada would be cool. Like, I will go anywhere.
Has there been any advice that you were given, I guess, when you started your wrestling journey that you kind of hold dear to your heart, that you still like go back to when you need to?
I think it's definitely, my coaches are very big on just like the way you act and being like appreciative of everything you get and being humble and all that. And I've been that way my entire life. And I definitely will never come off as like a cocky, like confident person in the slightest. I definitely am grateful for anything and everything that like opportunity wise has been given to me, the people I meet, literally everything. So I just always try to remember like how cool all of this is. Like, it's just wild sometimes that I don't even, like the week that I went from filming Level Up to on Saturday I was filming Dark, I was like, this is like wild. Like and then like the next day I was back at like my normal job because, you know, still have that. And I was just like this is crazy. So definitely just like keeping a good head and being appreciative and making sure that the people around you know like how appreciative you are of everything that you're given.
Nice. And we have a question from our senior writer. Your favorite women's rivalry?
Ooh, that's a good question. Definitely, I'd say Bailey and Sasha. They are just every single time bangers, every single time.
Very true. I mean, I don't know if you want to comment on this, but the fact that like, what's happening with Sasha? Where? It's just, you know, anytime anybody brings up Sasha, that's the next like, so what? So I know she knows what's happening. I just kind of want to, you know.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Another question from Nikki. Favorite women's match?
Favorite women's match. I think it's them at TakeOver. Yeah, I would say.
That was, yeah.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
It's a great match.
I'm like, that's easy.
Okay, so we're gonna head over to a rapid hot tag. So I'm gonna ask you a question. You're gonna say the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Your favorite artist to listen to of all time?
Katy Perry.
Favorite body part to work on?
Ooh, biceps.
The favorite show to binge watch?
Castle.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
To eat whatever I want and still look like this.
I've never heard that before, but I want that too. Last question. Your house containing everything you own catches on fire. After saving your loved ones, your pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save one other item. What would it be?
Oh, this is such a good question. I have to think. Okay, hold on. It's supposed to be rapid fire. It'd probably be some piece of clothing, like a jersey or something. Something that has held either a piece of clothing or like a stuffed animal that I've had my entire life.
I agree. My mom, I feel like I'm just like divulging all these random stories, but my mom, we have stuff, I'm from Canada, we have stuff at her house and she's since moved and she says the stuff is there, but I don't think so. So RIP to my teddy bear, Jamal. I've had since second grade. I don't think.
We're sorry, Jamal.
I don't think he survived the move.
Jamal is long gone. He's still there, promise.
It's like
one out for Jamal.
Yeah, I know. Good shout out to Jamal. Gotta love him. But thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate you. And like I said, just watching your matches. And actually, I do have one other question.
Yeah.
It seemed very strategic, the wrestling school that you picked. Was that planned, or was it like, oh, this is like, I wanted to be here and now, I'm surrounded by all this greatness and opportunities?
I had thought about starting to train for wrestling. And the first thing in my head was like, do some Google. And I remember seeing like a few different schools, and then I don't remember who it was. Someone was like, no, like you have to go to flatbacks. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, like no, only flatbacks. And I was like, all right. And then like, obviously I did some like more research, and I was like, oh yeah, 100%. Like, and I signed up, and here we are.
There it is. Well, shout out to flatbacks. For sure. I saw their promo as far as their training. Looks intense, so kudos to you on that. Before we get out of here, though, where can everybody find you?
Instagram is Avery Breaux _, and then obviously Facebook, Avery Breaux. Twitter is just @Avery Breaux. So,
boom, there it is. And Miss Katrina, where can everybody find you?
Pretty much everywhere in Cat We Trust.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in live. We're going to be doing more live interviews. We're back to that. If you're familiar with Women's Wrestling Talk, like circa 2017, that's all we were doing. So we're going to get back to our roots. So thank you, Avery, for, because some people are like, I don't want to do live. Like, we're harmless. Like, I'm just going to talk about, teddy bears getting tossed in the trash. I'm gonna have to apologize to my mom when I get back to Toronto and he's there, like sitting on my bed, like, oh man, I'm just
be like
crap about you. Sorry. But shout out to everybody for watching. You can follow us on all social media platforms at WWT Pod. We're on TikTok, we're in Instagram. We also have a LinkedIn page. We're on everything, everywhere. Definitely go and check out our website, www.talkpod.com, for everything. I'm going to see if I can run through these shows for you. So today's Wednesday. So we have an AEW Dynamite show coming on Thursday. Packed. We're doing NXT UK. Then we're doing Creep Squad After Dark. Then we're doing Impact After Show. Friday, we're doing SmackDown. Saturdays, there's also 2 pay-per-views. I'm not going to go through the names. Then Sunday, we do Turn Back the Glam. Then we have Raw on Monday. Then we have Ms. and Mrs. on Tuesday. Next week, we're debuting our brand new show, WWT Live. We'll create a graphic because this is a little bit much. But thank you guys. I know, just everything's there. Thank you guys for tuning in for us. My name is TK Trinidad, and you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Till next time, guys. Thank you for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.